SkyScreamer is a slingshot-style ride at South Pier in England. The versions I had experienced prior to this utilized a springbox. They were fun, but they did not truly wow me. SkyScreamer instead uses bungee cords to fling the gondola through the air. I was skeptical whether this would really improve the ride, but boy did it ever. I will explain why these versions offer a far more extreme ride experience in this review. The reverse bungee rides originated in the late 1970s, but they exploded in popularity in the 1990s. As the name suggests, these used tension bungee cords to yank gondolas into the air. While these rides were undeniable rushes, they had a major flaw. The elastic bands were prone to snapping. There have been several high-profile instances where this has occurred. I'm not going to show any of these on screen due to copyright issues, but this has occurred at places like Mount Olympus and Hyde Park's Winter Wonderland. Funtime developed an alternative in the late 1990s. Their slingshots used steel cables and a springbox system. This had more fail-safes baked in and offers a considerably safer ride experience. But it does come at the expense of intensity. The launch, while suspenseful and fast, is not overly punchy. The initial ascent and descent is usually great. You often flip at the apex and get a bit of a freefall sensation coming down. Then the following oscillations are quite mild. The one thing that can spice them up is if you continue to flip, but this doesn't usually happen. This is the most common model in the United States. I usually skip them because there are pricey upcharges. This is due to their very low throughput. Most parks charge $20 to $25 for them. I ride them if I can get a discount. Not sure if they still do it, but the Kings Island one used to cost just $5 early in the day. The price would increase as the day progressed. I have been able to redeem membership rewards points at Six Flags parks to ride a few there. I was always curious just how much better the bungee versions could be, and I finally got to try one at South Pier. This particular version opened in 2000. It was built by Reverse Bungee New Zealand. This is the tallest ride at South Pier, standing 138 feet or 42 meters tall, and it has a commanding presence. It is located towards the back of the pier, but you can see the towers from miles away. Then within the park, this ride always draws a crowd whenever it cycles. The biggest con with this ride is its price. It costs £20 or roughly $25 per person per ride. Tickets are purchased at a booth adjacent to the ride. The gondola can hold a max of 3 riders per cycle. Solo riders are permitted, unlike some installations. When it's your turn to ride, you step onto the platform. Usually, there'll be no wait, as the ride's high price point limits demand. You are then asked to remove everything from your pockets, which is understandable given this ride's placement and intensity. You then enter a semi-caged vehicle, and the operator secures a series of straps and belts. This made me feel considerably more exposed than the Funtime versions that usually have traditional over-the-shoulder restraints. Once dispatched, the gondola slowly rocks backwards as you prep for launch. At this point, the bungee cords are stretched into position. This can be seen off-ride. On-ride, you are just staring at the sky. The suspense is palpable. Part of it is because of the ride's stats and forces, but a large chunk of it, for me at least, is this model's accident history. The one at South Pier has been incident-free, and the odds of something going wrong are very low, but it still is more probable than most other amusement rides out there. The operator usually gives you a heads up right before takeoff. Then, you are violently yanked skywards. This felt nothing like a launch on a Funtime Slingshot, nor an S&S Space Shot for that matter. The launches in those rides have a sudden release, and the majority of the ascent is smooth and fluid. SkyScreamer's launch has an abrupt initial jerk. It slams you back into your seat. Then you are pinned there as you rapidly accelerate upwards. This offers powerful positive Gs. Imagine the Gs in mission space at Walt Disney World, except here, you are actually launching vertically while subjected to those high Gs. It felt completely out of control. But the fun does not stop there. Once you reach the apex, the gondola will almost always flip. This is super disorienting. And at the same time, you are treated to sustained ejector air time. This caught me completely off guard because I was used to the Funtime versions. On the Funtime versions, it feels like you're out of speed at the apex, so you gracefully flip and then descend downwards. On SkyScreamer, it feels like you have more than enough momentum to keep rising upwards. You only come back down to earth because the bungees suddenly tension back up and rip you downwards, hence why you get ejector airtime for the sudden directional change. Then the bungees throw you downwards as well, so you feel the acceleration in Gs once again as you drop. It does not feel like a traditional freefall drop. It feels more like you're being launched towards the ground. Think of those dives on a chance zipper when you're careening right towards the ground. The bottom then offers a sudden spike of positive Gs. It was also possible for the gondola to flip here, which offers one heck of a blood rush to your head. Then you are whisked back up into the air. Another positive compared to a Funtime slingshot is that the subsequent bounces are exciting as well. The following 4 to 5 rises offer sustained floater and or pure 0G at the apex. It is glorious levitating out of your seat for several seconds at a time. Then the falls also thrust you downwards, again offering good positive Gs and a scary visual staring at the ground. Then it was possible to flip at the top or bottom of any of these bounces, which added thrills and a degree of randomness to the experience. You then slow down, which gives you a chance to catch your breath and appreciate the view. I wish the ride was positioned so it was facing the sea, but the view is still mighty impressive. You are facing a majority of South Pier. Then in the distance, you can see Blackpool Tower, Pleasure Beach, and Blackpool's bustling promenade. You then slowly lower back down to the ground, ending the experience. The main thrill portion is still on the shorter side compared to most rides, but it offers more meat than a Funtime slingshot, or most drop towers for that matter. So what would I rate SkyScreamer? This reverse bungee ride earns a perfect 10 out of 10. This is an impressive flat ride offering some strong and diverse forces. The launch feels completely unhinged. The vertical rises and drops offer strong positive Gs, and the apex of several bounces offers sustained airtime. First ejector, then more floater, but it's plentiful in both instances. Then the whole experience has flips and good views peppered in. It is a pricey experience, but it's an absolute rush that I truly recommend. This is worlds better than a Funtime slingshot. Honestly, this ruins those rides for me. That being said, I get why parks are moving away from the Bungee versions due to their accident history. Most guests are just as excited by the springbox version. But if you're a die-hard thrill seeker such as myself, and an amusement park enthusiast, I think you'll want to try one of these to see how they feel and compare. It took my breath away. Well, on that note, how does this compare to the Soaring Eagle Sky Slings? The Sky Slings have milder launches and vertical movements, more akin to the Funtime slingshots. However, those rides excel in 2 areas. 1, the gondolas are way more open. You sit on an open saddle with even more minimalistic restraints. 2, and more importantly, those rides can have far more flipping. These are amazing attractions, but they do feel radically different. So those are my thoughts on SkyScreamer at South Pier, the reverse bungee slingshot. What are your thoughts on this ride, or the ride type in general? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.